What's going on? This is Muriel from the Sunshine Family. Today discussing the 3 biggest mistakes I made after moving to Costa Rica. So after my move, 3 major mistakes were a big challenge. I'm gonna share exactly what they were so you can learn from them. You know, if you already know me a little, this is what my channel is about. To share everything I've learned so far after moving to Costa Rica back in 2018 with my husband Dirk and 2 growing up kids. I am able to live here thanks to my 100% online business. I do affiliate marketing, online coaching, and I have basically about 15 online income streams. I don't have a job, I don't have a brick and mortar business, and if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check out the description below. To learn more about if there's something that's a right fit for you. There's always a lot online possible, not just one way, so you know. And with the beautiful sunset in the background of Santa Teresa Beach, as you can see, I wanted to touch on the 3 biggest mistakes I made after my move to Costa Rica, in the hope that you can learn from them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, let me invite you first. In that bottom corner over there, you see a little square icon. If you hit it, you can subscribe, and you can also choose to hit the bell icon. I recommend you to do it because then you get a notification every time I upload a new video, and that way you don't have to miss any future value that I will be sharing about my Costa Rica life. So if you're dreaming about moving to Costa Rica, this is your channel to be. And just look behind me, isn't it beautiful? Let me say it like this, I have more light like this. So let me just dive right in. Big mistake number 1 is that you should never ever be so good at heart and good at trust with strangers here in Costa Rica. I'm not saying you can never ever meet new people who you can trust. No, that's not what I'm saying. Look behind me, there's my dog Lucky. But be cautious with trusting people. If people offer you help, there is 9 of the 10 times a reward in a commission hidden somewhere. And it happened to me with the rental. The first rental seemed to be like a nice deal. It was someone who was renting here. She said, I can rent out my place because of my specific contract that I have, and she was in another country the time that we would be moving to Costa Rica. And she said, well, I have a cat. If you feed my cat, I have just a couple of stuff that's in my house, but yeah, you can rent my house for $1,000 per month. Let's keep it simple. You don't have to pay more in high season. Let's keep it at, no, I think she said like in low season it's 1,000, and in high season it's going to be 11. Because it's high season, that's just how it works. Okay, I was like, compared to all the other prices I heard, it seemed to be a pretty good deal. It had 2 bedrooms, so the kids had their own bedroom. Anyways, we choose to go for it, you know, as a matter of trust, and we found out that we were screwed. The original rental price was $600. I happen to always talk with everyone because that's what I like. So I was speaking with the neighbor, and he said, oh my goodness, she's earning on you. You know, you're really paying way too much for a crappy state house. The leak was starting to, the roof was starting to leak in the first month of rainy season. We happened to live there for 2 months. I broke my promise to stay there for half a year. I thought, you know, if you're screwing me, I'm gonna just, you know, I'm not gonna stick to my commitment to stay here for half a year. She was not here, so I think she made, at the end of the day, the biggest mistake to not be fair with us, because she said it was the original price, and when the roof was leaking and the repair guy didn't show up, it didn't went smoothly. She even became angry at me that I wasn't organizing it well, and I was like, come on, I'm renting for this price, and you know, I can expect something back. Anyways, I happened to find out all the things that she offered to do for us, like, hey, can I help you with rental cars, and all the tips and all. But she was making commissions on everyone, not just on us, but in town. She happened to have a very bad name. So people can look very kind and very helping and reaching out to you, but be cautious. Don't trust people just like that, especially not when it comes down to money, rental, stuff, right? So always look around and ask for yourself. And there's community groups, you can always ask all your questions. So that way you allow people, several different people giving you answers on specific questions. So yeah, don't trust anyone just like that, especially not in Costa Rica. That's actually what my second landlord taught us. He became officially our very first friend, as an expat like ourselves. But yeah, we lived in his house, he was living next door, and he taught us a lot, especially about this. So be cautious on a natural way. Don't be paranoid, okay? Because that it's not always black or white. There's always a way in between, but just be cautious. Please, I felt so screwed. I felt lied to. I felt sold to. I had to deal with it. I hope that you can learn from my mistake. Blunder number 2, really, especially when you have a family, arrange a good vehicle as soon as possible. Because living in Costa Rica, not having your own vehicle is just a lot of hassle. It started for me the first week. The kids went to their very first school week. An expat school by Olango, super cool, community school, but it was not in town, it was a little bit outside of town. They missed the school bus because I didn't really get the concept of the school bus, that you have to be at the side of the street, and they can come in 15 minutes early, they can come 15 minutes late. So we were right on time. It's typically Dutch. And of course they already were gone. They didn't wait it for us. They were 15 minutes early at the first school day. So I had to hitchhike. I had to arrange a taxi. I didn't even have taxi drive numbers. There's no Ubers here in town. So having no vehicle, especially when you have kids, is a hustle. At least rent a quad, or have something to go from A to B, so you're not relying on taxi drivers or school buses. And so while you're figuring your life out, that you at least can freely choose to go from A to B without relying on the really not reliable public transportation, because also the local buses have their flexibility in time and where they stop or whatever. So yeah, oh my goodness, I hitchhiked the very first meeting I had at school because I had to be there at 8 in the morning and I couldn't find a taxi driver. So I literally started to wait for the bus at the side of the road. At 6:30 the bus didn't show up. I was like, oh, I don't want to be on time. So the kids were on the bus. It took them like 55 minutes to get my school bus to school. So I had to hitchhike. It took me like four cars to get finally at my destination. Actually, it's a very, very funny story because the guy who brought me to the school happened to have a Range Rover old-timer shop, and we bought a Range Rover from him. So actually it needed to be that way, but oh my goodness, save yourself the hustle and don't buy a vehicle on peninsulas. Buy a vehicle, especially second-hand, as close as you can to Gracia or San Jose. That is my biggest advice. Don't buy a car near the ocean because everything oxidates and the cars are really in worse shape here. They might look pretty nice, but they can be super rotten inside. So yeah, it took us a while to find a good car, but now we have one. So yeah, that is my second big mistake. And my third big mistake, not one that I can cry over, but like it's especially now when we happen to buy property after more or less a year that we were living here, is to not bring any tools. We literally sold everything back in the Netherlands, and I'm not saying you should keep everything. Electricity tools, so tools on electricity with European standard like voltage are useless here. They might work really well at the beginning, but because the electricity goes up and down, it's not constant here, those tools break down. That's what we have learned. So we're glad that we sold that tools, but like simple, good, like a hammer or like basic tools that you need when you have an old-timer car, for example, like a little kit. It could be one suitcase full of tools. We wish that we brought it and not just sold it, because we had to buy everything again here. It started with the tools that we needed for the car, but also just basic tools. Everything is really worst quality as we have in the Netherlands, or probably back in the United States. But yeah, so here it takes more energy to find good quality tools. So it takes you more time to find, and then they're more expensive than where I come from, the Netherlands. So yeah, I really regret that we didn't just, and not as importing, because then you pay taxes and stuff, but just in a suitcase. Just check in an extra suitcase, and that cost you $100, and that would have saved us a lot of buying tools that we needed anyways, that you're gonna need anyways. Even if you're renting, I would bring some tools. Yeah, that's my biggest mistakes. I learned in the really like the first month after I moved here. In any ways, it was so worth it to make those mistakes because I learned so much from it, and now I can share them with you. And look, the moon is coming up. I don't know if you can see it. There's the moon. You see it? So you're actually witnessing this beautiful sunset. It's getting dark. Look at the sky. Every mistake that you're gonna be making, this is like to wrap up my videos with advice. Trust me, you're gonna make so much mistakes. You cannot prevent making mistakes. Don't make the dumbest mistakes like signing contracts which you cannot read, which are in Spanish. That's the dumbest mistake you can make. Always have a good attorney. That's a very important mistake you can prevent when buying property and stuff. But basic mistakes, of course you're going to, I don't know, buy a crappy vehicle which is gonna break down right away. Or I don't know, you're going to be renting a house because it looked really nice on the website, and when you come there, it is a classic. It's like really bad shape. They had a special camera when photographing the place. So always, those are cliche, really cliche mistakes. I would do it like this. Rent an Airbnb or something from booking.com for a couple of days, depending on the season. If it's high season, it's tricky. But if it's more low season or mid season, rent something for a couple of days and then go check out yourself. Ask around, ask in the Facebook community group of the area you're staying. In general, all the areas like Lake Arenal, Central Valley, the southern peninsula, near Santa Ana, Montezuma, Santa Teresa, and they're way more Tamarindo. There are so many Facebook community Facebook groups. Ask there and then take it from there. Have your vehicle so you can drive from A to B and check out places yourself. Go there. Do a speed test with your internet if you're relying on the internet like myself. Don't trust people saying yeah there's internet. It's good, it's fast. If you need to work with videos and uploading, downloading stuff and doing meetings and coaching and stuff using material like Zoom and streaming, you need to have a fast internet connection, and a lot of people lie about it or are not aware how strong internet you need. But you test, take your laptop with you. So that are some extra tips that I wanted to give to you. So let me know if this was helpful. Look, I'm so happy. I want you to be happy. I'm hoping to see you one day here in Costa Rica. So keep me posted if you're serious about your move. Oh, P.S. I wrote a book, 7 Steps to Move to Costa Rica. Let me post a link in the comments below. And you can always reach out to me if there's something specific you want to know. I'll also do calls. You can book me if you have a lot of questions. You can book my time, and you can ask as much as questions as fitting in 55 minutes. I'm really happy to do that. Just follow your heart, follow your dreams, and looking forward to meeting you in Costa Rica one day. This was Muriel from the Sunshine Family, and I'm gonna find my dog and get back to pick up my son at Muay Thai in Santa Teresa. Bye.